Today's class is going to be an in-between class. So in between gentle and mindful, a little bit more movement and a little bit more standing. So adjust as you need. And I will be using the blocks to sort of show you that in-between space for those of you who want to build some strength that way and or make it a little more nourishing, slow, and gentle. So with that, find a comfortable seat, noticing if you found a seat, but it wasn't comfortable, and find your ischial spines and root them deeply downward, finding your centeredness and your groundedness, and hopefully a bit of peace as that first sensation as you close your eyes, if that's comfortable, and rest your hands on your thighs. Take a moment here, even before you focus on the breath, to notice how you feel. Bringing your mind and your body and your breath all back into one spot. Come back to the breath, breathing in through your nose, long and nourishing, even. And have the exhale be smooth and peaceful. Breathing in deep, delicious oxygen, nourishing every nook and cranny, all the way to your fingertips and your toes. And a smooth exhale through your mouth. And notice if you're fidgety, adjust and come back to stillness. Often in stillness, in the not fixing, is where we find peace. And if it feels comfortable, take your hands and flip the palms open towards the light, towards the air, in a more receptive, open position on your thighs. Come back to the breath once again, inhaling a sense of peace. And exhaling that resistance to reality, frustration, irritability, whatever it is that's getting in the way of peace. And continue to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And the invitation of this class is the concept that I love to share called Peace Begins With Me. And when things are swirling beyond you, things out of control, perhaps other people, perhaps illnesses, deaths, jobs that aren't working, remembering this concept that peace begins with you. I like to think of the peace as not a task, but as a lighthearted invitation. And in kids yoga, there's a mantra and a finger exercise, which I wanted to do together here, that peace begins with you. And it's something you can carry with you as a reminder that peace begins with the stories you tell, the way you think about what's happening, the way you feel about what's happening, the words you use, and the feelings that you choose to embody. You can choose to bring peace into the situation, choosing to live the life that you have in this moment, choosing to accept whatever's going on out there. You can add an and, so you don't have to like it. You don't have to be happy. You don't have to have radical acceptance, but accepting brings peace. Coming back to the breath, inhaling that peace, beginning with you, and exhaling the thought that things have to change for you to find peace. Inhaling a sense of stillness, peace beginning with you in the stillness. And exhaling thoughts that things should be different in this moment. You can inhale a wish for them to be different, but exhaling the need to change them, bringing in peace and stillness. And noticing with that peace and stillness how you feel. Perhaps a little more spaciousness, wiggling your fingers lightly. And we'll bring a hand to heart and another hand to top, checking in with yourself here and checking in with any resistance to having peace with whatever might be going on in your life today. And if your life is beautiful and calm and easeful today, truly sinking into that peace. Peace can be still, it can be light, it can be happy, it can be fun, and it can happen in the midst of all the chaos. So this class is an invitation for peace to begin with you, an invitation to focus on what's in your control, which is you and how you respond and how you think and feel and act and move and care for yourself, how you decide to respond to others' responses to what you do. It's all within you. Sending energy and attention to that heart space, kindness and compassion, knowing that that is a form of peace. And that is the way forward, the way towards solutions and creativity and joy and play, even in the midst of the challenges, alongside perhaps sadness, grief, frustration. We don't have to not pay attention to those feelings or bypass them, but allowing the duality there, peace and. Breathing in an inhale of peace and stillness and kindness and compassion into that pocket behind your heart, that retrocardiac space you might see on an X-ray, filling it up with breath. And exhale, let it out. Pausing to think about some thoughts about your current situation that would allow peace, grow peace, allow you to enjoy a peaceful moment if today happens to already be one. Remembering you can find peace even in the midst of chaos and sad things. Peace does begin with you if you want it to. So sit for a moment, spreading peace through the palmar surfaces of your hands into your heart space, letting it course down into your fingertips, down into your belly, deep into the sacral region and the root chakra, which is the base of your spine or tailbone. Letting that sense of peace travel around. If you imagine those Netter anatomy artery and vein pictures, sending the peace to every little tiny artery, vein, capillary, to the far nether regions of your body. Noticing that sometimes we hold the resistance in the pinky toe, or sometimes in our belly, sometimes in the base of our spine. So sending the breath and that peace with intention to the base of your spine, to the root chakra, the part of you that feels safe, belongs, feels like they're at home. Huge breath in and out. Notice your chest rise and fall. And we'll lower our hands and open our eyes, coming back together. And here I wanted to invite the practice of peace begins with me. So those of you who haven't done this with me in coaching or at a retreat, I've done it once before in yoga, but you'll bring your hands up and you'll bring your thumb and your index finger together, just touching the fingertips lightly. And that's peace. Middle finger to thumb begins, ring finger to thumb with, and pinky finger to thumb me. So peace begins with me. And then you'll whisper it. Peace begins with me. And then you'll do it silently. And try it 3 more times silently. Peace begins with me in your head. Noticing the finger pads touch, the acupressure points activated, and use whatever pressure feels right to you. I like a dancing light. Peace begins with me. Peace in my body is light, free, spacious. So do 3 more at your pace with your pressure and notice the feelings that come with it. And when you're done, come back to a hand to heart and the other hand to top. Notice how you feel. Check in with that heart space. Close your eyes for a moment if they're not closed. letting it integrate into each cell and each bit of DNA. Deep into that belly, pelvic region, the root chakra, the sacral chakra. And when you're ready, lower your hands and open your eyes. And we will begin to move, hopefully with peace. Take a moment to find your ischial spines once again, connecting them deep downward. Peace also requires centeredness, groundedness, settled, rooted, whatever word works for you. Notice your sit bones and notice the connection to the earth, very stable underneath. Even I, who live in earthquake country, the earth is stable 99.9% of the time. Engage your belly, also a way to connect deeply and feel settled. And we'll reach both arms up towards the sky. Interlace your fingers, flip the palms towards the sky, shimmy your elbows back behind you slightly, reach as tall as you can. Huge drink of breath, pouring it all the way in everywhere. Exhale, round forward and suck your belly towards the back wall, navel reaching the spine, and press your hands all the way forward. Enjoy the opening of the back body. Inhale, reach tall and slight arch back, a seated cat-cow. Exhale, round forward. Move slowly and gently, no hurry. And don't push it. Do what feels good. That's what we've been working on recently. Only movements that feel good. And if you play with it and it doesn't feel good, ease it back. More is not better. One more delicious stretch, reaching the palms all the way forward, enjoying the back body, the ribs opening up. Press those palms as far forward as you feels good. Inhale, reach towards the sky. Exhale, open your arms out to the sides. And we're gonna wrap them right in front, right elbow under left, coming into eagle arms, elbow to elbow. Palms will face you and thumbs grab, palms grab, whatever you've got. Lift your elbows up to shoulder height. Pause for a moment and just enjoy the interscapular space there. Send the breath to soften that tightness. Sending peace between the shoulder blades, and exhale, soften. Inhale, lift up a smidge if that feels good to you. And exhale, drop to shoulder height. Inhale, lift up just slightly, centimeter, inch, whatever feels lovely. Send the breath and softness into the interscapular space. Exhale, lower to shoulder height. Inhale, once again, lift up and enjoy. And exhale, lower to shoulder height. If you wish to drop your elbows to your belly and round forward, do that if it feels good, only as far as feels good. Release the head and neck wherever you are. Huge breath into the lungs, into each intercostal space, filling them with peace. Our breath is a way to connect with peace, even in the midst of a busy day when you're not on your yoga mat. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Rising up, elbows to shoulder height. Untangle, stretch them wide to the sides. Palms will face the side walls and pinch those scapula together, releasing any tension. Exhale, let it go. And wrap in the opposite direction, left elbow under right. This time, hand to hand, lift your elbows to shoulder height. And once again, send the breath and softness between the scapula. Lots of tension held there. Inhale and exhale. Two more big deep breaths here. Lift up the elbows if it feels good. Notice what feels peaceful, easeful as you release the tension. If it doesn't feel peaceful today, don't do it. If it's a path to peace, fine. Use the breath, sending this idea of peace, the feelings of peace, acceptance, kindness, compassion everywhere. Lift up once again. And exhale, if it's okay for you, bring your elbows into your belly, drop your head and neck, and just enjoy huge, nourishing, peaceful breaths into every nook and cranny of the lungs. opening up those pockets of the lungs that rarely get attention. And notice as you're here if any other part of your body is sending you messages, and send the breath there, sending the attention kindly, inviting peace in those areas that are calling to you, sending you a message. Slowly raise your elbows up towards a shoulder height. Untangle. Press your arms into the side walls, a quick pinch of the scapula to release. Tight, tight, tight. Exhale, release, and lower your hands. Notice for a moment tingles in your fingers likely. Roll your shoulders back 3 times with softness, and sending the breath into any noises, pops, kinks that happen. Go in the opposite direction forward, slowly, gently, taking your time. We miss so many opportunities when we move quickly. Wiggle your fingers once again. Notice the transitions, and shrug your shoulders up to your ears as high as you can. Drop your occiput there. Press with kindness, awakening all those little cells. And as you drop your shoulders, palms open towards the front, invite peace. Close your eyes and notice how you feel. Huge breath in. And exhale, let it out. Notice for a moment once again. Pause and notice. Pause and breathe. Available to us all the time. Pause and enjoy the peace. Inhale, both arms up towards the sky. Twist gently to the right. Drop your left hand to the right thigh, right fingertips behind you. Tent them wherever. Don't overdo the twist. Inhale, lengthen your spine and grow. And exhale, look, gaze over the right shoulder with ease, not a stressful twist, just an easy twist, opening up the lower back. Using the breath to invite peace into the belly. When you twist, you're massaging the abdominal organs. Send the breath to all of them, deserving nourishment, peace, cleansing. Inhale, reach both arms up towards the sky, twist back to center. Exhale, drop your shoulders. Inhale, reach tall, 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 wiggle your fingers. Exhale, twist to the left gently. Once again, today's not an overdo it day. It's a take it easy, softly, gently, and notice. Inhale, stretch tall. As we inhale, invite peace through the breath all the way down into your pelvic region. As you sit, you're sitting on your root, sending the breath all the way there, perhaps even down into the earth. Exhale, gaze over that left shoulder and twist gently. Notice the lower back here, not so much your belly, but the lower back. Inhale, lengthen. Twist our spine lengtheners. Envision yourself growing taller. And exhale, release, gaze over that left shoulder. Reach both arms up towards the sky, twist back to center, and we'll lower our arms to our sides. Come out of the cross-legged position, take out whatever you happen to be sitting on, and stretch your legs long. Taking a moment once again to find your root and your spines, ischial spines, and sending your energy downward to find stable, to find safe, to find secure. Your knees can be bent, your toes spread wide as they can be. Use your belly here, knees are bent, toes spread as wide as you can, drawing in the energy through the toes. You can envision your toes like your fingers, peace beginning with each toe. You can wiggle that big toe. Can't connect your toes, obviously, but inviting agency and movement and attention into the toes. Slowly lower your heels and your knees, if you can, stretching the legs long. Inhale your arms out and up towards the sky, loose fingers, and exhale, fold forward wherever you land. Drop your head and neck and notice how you feel. Notice the backs of your legs. Once again, the invitation today is not to overdo it. Though we're not using the blocks and the bolsters here, take good care of your body without them. More is not better. Point your toes and flex your ankles. Bring your toes towards your nose. Turn your toes outward, using your belly to stabilize everything. And bring your feet together. Perhaps the feet touch. And release your head and neck a little bit more, just noticing the energetic shifts running along the backs of your legs. And come back to the breath here, noticing even as the backs of the legs stretch and things are moving, you can find peace. Breathe into the backs of the lungs and slide forward a smidge if that's available to you. Once again, don't overdo it. Breathing into your chest. And exhale, let it out. Sliding up your shins to your knees, to your thighs. Open your legs out wide, coming into a seated wide angle pose, and find once again your ischial spines, connecting them into the earth. They are your stability, your safe, your security, centered, calm, grounded. Engage your belly and stack your spine, each vertebrae one atop the other, reaching the crown of your head to the sky, growing tall. Engage your legs all the way down through the thighs, through the shins. Flex the ankles, toes towards your knees, everything engaged. Bring your hands behind you, tend them onto the floor, pick your hips up and move them forward a smidge. Pressing your hands into the floor, shoulders down and back. That heart is going to shine forward. Close your eyes if that feels good. Take in a breath of that peace. And here, thinking about peace begins with me. With everything engaged, what would that look like? What's in your control in this moment? Perhaps it's only how you think about something, but perhaps it's something you could do or say to yourself or somewhere else. What would bring you peace? What would bring your future self peace? Pouring the breath into every nook and cranny, all the way down into those inner thighs and the groin area, breathing in. And a huge exhale. Relax your elbows, shoulders. Take your right knee, bend it, bring your right sole of the foot into the left thigh. Slide your left hand down the left leg and reach your right arm over, opening up the upper waist on the right side. Send those right fingers gently towards the left toes. Connect your right hip deeply into the earth. If it's accessible, bend that left elbow, resting it. Huge breath into every nook and cranny of the right side. 3 more breaths here. Close your eyes. If you want, you can gaze over that left shoulder and invite the peace in through perhaps wiggled fingers, wiggled toes. Slowly rising out of this, we're going to drop our right hand to the floor. You'll drop your left toes to the floor and lift up just into an easy wild thing. Not overdoing it. Stretch the left side body and just enjoy. Once again, lightly enjoy, not overdoing it, not overstretching it, enjoying it. Peace also involves the joy and the lightness. Wiggle your fingers, slowly coming back down to a seat. Untangle the right leg, stretching it wide into a wide angle pose. Once again, rocking on those sit bones forward, hinge your waist slightly forward, lower your hands between your legs, palms on the floor. Spread your fingers wide, all 5 fingers, equal pie shapes between. Lower the palms on the floor. Notice the sensations. Press each finger pad into the floor, noticing. And noticing the stability of the floor coming up through your hands, through your arms, sending it right into that heart space. Huge breath in. And if it's available, hinge forward a wee bit more, perhaps walk those fingers, palms, wide fingers spread forward, and enjoy the sensations. Notice if you're holding your breath here. Exhale, let it out. Sliding your hands back up towards you. We'll bend the left knee, bring the left sole of the foot into the right thigh. Find your sit bones if they have not disconnected from the earth. And notice that we disconnect pretty easily. So we have to pause, pay attention, and reconnect. You're going to slide your right hand down your right thigh to the shin, to the ankle. Gently reach the left arm over the left ear towards the right toes. Left hip roots downward. Sending your roots, noticing all of the stability, safety, and nourishment coming from the earth on that left hip. Reach the left fingers over towards the right toes. Bend your right elbow. Drop your forearm to the floor. Reach those left fingers. Huge breath in and out. 3 breaths here, bathing every nook and cranny of that left side. If it would feel good, gaze over the left shoulder. And as you do, when you take the in-breath, gazing over the left shoulder, pouring it down like honey through your body, all the way into your root, into the base of your spine, to the pelvic region, into the lower belly, filling it up with peace, stillness, even sweetness, honey sweet. Slowly rising back up to center. You'll untangle your leg. You can actually just bring it forward, bringing the soles of both feet together, coming into butterfly pose. Bring your heels towards you. Have a little rock on your sit bones and enjoy it. Notice how you feel. Hands will come to your ankles. Hug them in towards you. Tilt your pelvic bowl forward. Stack your spine. Shine your heart forward. Crown of the head reaches forward. Use your belly here. Notice the soles of the feet touching. Toes, press each toe together, or all the little toes and then the big toe. Notice the, I can't think of the word, all the places on the soles of your feet to connect. Perhaps your arches don't connect, but the balls of your feet connect, the heels of your feet connect. Notice your hands on your ankles or your arches, wherever they want to be. Hug your heels towards you a tiny bit more and have another little rock as you stretch and grow taller. Pour the breath in. Pour the peace in. Even as you stretch and you use your core muscles, reaching tall. Exhale, blow it out. Release your hands. We'll stretch our legs long in front, sweep them around and come into hands and knees. And if you need to get there another way, that's fine. For those of you who want to use blocks, grab them and put them at the front of your mat. I plan to use them standing tall, so whatever works for you. Come to your knees and your hands. Knees directly under your shoulders, under your hips, sorry, that would be a trick. Hands directly under your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide. Press the palmar surface of all the knuckles into the floor. Flatten the palm. Notice the tops of your feet on the earth. Notice your knees on the earth and engage your belly. Notice your strength here, your stability. And come back to this idea of grounded, safe, secure. Inhale, a gentle cow, slight tummy stretch, reach the crown of your head towards the sky and enjoy the sensations in the lower spine. Don't overdo it today, just gentle little movements. Exhale, round, enjoy the back, open up. Inhale for a little cow, baby cow. And exhale for a baby cat. And come back to center. Curl your toes and lift up into downward dog from here. Gently, easily. Widen your feet. Do what feels good. And take a moment here to enjoy downward dog. Downward dog is also a spine stretch. That's its primary purpose. It's also a shoulder strengthener. Walking the dog, pressing one heel to the floor and the other. Enjoy the sensations in the backs of the legs. Notice your palms on the floor.
Slowly noticing each finger pad touch the floor. Press the knuckles to the floor, the palms to the floor. Protect your wrists. Lift up onto your heels as high as you can. Reach your sit bones towards the sky. They're the apex. Press into your hands and reach your rear end up and back and drop your head and neck. Shake your head and neck, releasing tension. Lower your heels towards the floor and enjoy. If it's accessible, lift up your toes and spread them wide. Lower them down. Take 3 more breaths here, pausing to enjoy the spine stretch, enjoy the legs, enjoy whatever feels good to you here. Inviting peace even upside down. Sometimes we feel upside down, and yet you can still find peace. Sending the breath into your heart, perhaps that's where your peace is. Notice where you feel the peace when you're upside down in your body. Do a little body scan from the hands to the shoulders, to the heart space, to your belly, to your rear end reaching high. Is it down in your feet? Where is it? And notice that so you can take it with you. Slowly walk your feet towards your hands. And for those of you who have your blocks here, grab them in the forward fold. If you don't have your blocks, you don't need them. You can fold forward, releasing your lower back. Widen your feet if you need to, wiggle your toes, and sink into this forward fold. Bend your knees, allow your rear end to sink low, and then lift your hips up and drop your head. Notice how you feel. You can have your hands on the block for support. Bend your elbows, have your elbows on the block, or you can grab your elbows and release and hang. Notice what feels good. Shift into your toes and into your heels, to the left, to the right. Find your center. Root the soles of the feet downward. Huge breaths here, upside down. And once again, connect with that stability, safeness, strength from within. And notice the peace you can feel here hanging upside down. So we can find peace wherever we are when we focus our attention on it, on the breath, breathing in and out. Bringing your hands to the floor or the blocks and slowly unroll the spine or support yourself up on your legs, whatever is right for your body in this moment. And when you arrive, take time to arrive, to let the blood flow resettle, like the sands in an hourglass coming down to your fingers and your toes. Perhaps if it's available and you don't feel dizzy, close your eyes and enjoy. Connect with this idea of peace, peace within, peace beginning with you. What do you need to connect with to have peace begin with you? Is it nature, fresh air, different thoughts, a nap? Taking a moment to think, invite curiosity into the situation, wiggling your fingers and your toes with some lightness too. Oftentimes, peace comes when we let go of judgment, when we let go of resistance. You can open your eyes and gently notice the soles of your feet. Engage your kneecaps, lift them up. Engage your thighs, tuck your belly, stack your spine all the way up through the crown of your head. Huge inhale. And exhale, let it out, palms open towards the front. Tadasana or mountain pose. A peaceful pose. Mountains are quite peaceful. Inhaling and exhaling, perhaps connecting with a view that you have. For me, it's on a mountaintop that invites peace. In a week, I will be back at Sagrada looking at that view that for me brings so much peace and for so many others. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth.
And you bring a hand to heart and another hand atop, just sending some compassion and kindness into your heart. Sending this idea of peace, even if it's hard to connect with, or maybe it's easy to connect with, seal it in there for when you want to connect with it later. Enjoy it. Often when things are going well, we miss it. We don't enjoy it. So what peace is there? What's going well? What feels good? Huge, long, smooth out breath. Lowering your hands by your sides. We're going to come into tree pose, lifting up all 10 toes and sending them downward like the roots. And we'll envision them reaching out towards everyone here on Zoom, like we're a redwood tree forest. They connect to their roots like football fields. They're only a foot deep, and send them all across the US, because I know there's many of you all over the country. Root downward into that left foot and kickstand your right foot to the left shin. If you wish, you can bring it up to your calf. If you want to bring it up to your upper thigh, you can. Higher is not better. Notice your balance here. Bring your hands to heart center to enhance your balance. Bring your thumbs into your sternum, palms together. Invite peace here and find a foot position that is peaceful to you, not overdoing it. You may have little wiggles or wobbles, but invite peace, soften, relax. When we grip, it's harder. Draw your knee back towards your rear. Press your hands together in a prayer position, a peace position, and notice if you're wobbly, breathe. Find peace in your tree. If you need to have your toes on the floor, do that. And you can raise your arms up like branches if that's a peaceful tree. Enjoy it. Huge breaths in, breathing in all the way down through your fingertips into that center, into your sacral chakra, your root chakra, your pelvis region. That is where the peace comes from. That's a lot of the worry, the deep-rooted sense of worry and lack of peace. So sending it there. And if you're tippy like me, no judgment, perhaps lower your toe, find a peaceful tree. Lower your hands to heart center. Pressing those thumbs into your sternum and into the heart space, releasing any judgment of what the tree should or should not look like. And if you had a beautiful tree that was perfect for you today, enjoy it, acknowledge it, appreciate it. Draw that knee forward and lower it down, rolling your ankles out, releasing any tension there. We'll do the other side. Hands can stay at heart center. Notice your thumbs together, each finger pad touch the skin to skin of the hands. We often miss these little details that bring peace and sensation and tactile feeling good. Rubbing your hands together, pressing them into your sternum once again. Rooting the right toes downward, sending those roots outward to everyone in this Zoom space or YouTube space later. Kickstand your left foot, heel to the right thigh. Sole of the foot can come not to the thigh, to the calf for most of you. And if you wish to bring it up to the upper thigh, make sure it's not over your knee. Draw your left knee backwards, engage your glutes. Press your thumbs into your sternum and enjoy this tree here. Big, deep breaths. Pouring the breath down into your roots and sending it, envision it going to everybody here. Healing breaths, peaceful breaths, spreading peace, spreading calm. Calm and peace is actually one of the most powerful things to spread, whether you are a leader, a mother, a physician. Imagine if that's what you decided to spread, peace and love, and the healing that would come with that. It's not just about the knowledge and what we do and what we accomplish. Peace is powerful. Reaching your arms up towards the sky as whatever your branches look like. Wiggle your fingers. Notice that left glute and adjust and adapt to find peace, center, strength. You can find peace in the wobbles. Soften in. Bring your hands back to heart center. Press them into your sternum once again. Notice the finger pads, notice the palms. Draw your knee forward and lower it down. Once again, roll your ankles, releasing any tightness with kindness. And we'll come to the top of our mat. If you have blocks, keep them. If you don't, you'll just use your hands on the floor. Connect the soles of your feet to the earth. Lift up your heels slightly, lower your hands, and reach your arms out and up towards the sky. Palms come together, slight arch back, and we'll fold forward into a forward fold. Using the blocks, if you have them, inhale for a half lift. Your spine is flat. Rear end is sticking out backwards. You'll notice the backs of your legs, crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, relax into the forward fold. Enjoy your back release. Inhale, roll up once again to stand. Reach your arms out and up towards the sky. Slight arch back. Bringing your hands to heart. Pause for a breath. And exhale out. We'll lower our hands, open them out towards the sky, reaching up, palms come together, slight arch back, and fold forward, forward fold. Inhale for a half lift. Back is flat, rear end sticks out. Exhale, fold forward into a forward fold. Step your back leg back. We're going to come into a high lunge here, but we're going to use the blocks, or I am, you don't have to. Using the blocks on either side of your front foot. You probably will shimmy your back foot forward. Your back heel will be off the earth. You'll bend your front knee. Your front knee should not come in front of the ankle. And use the blocks to support yourself if you want. Notice the release in the front of the right thigh. Lifting your head up, crown of the head reaches towards the sky, heart shines forward. Pour the breath down through your chest, through your belly, into the right hip flexor. Huge in-breath. And exhale, sink in. If you're on the blocks, bend your elbows. One more big breath here. Straighten your front knee into a long triangle. Bend that front knee. Use the blocks for support. You can lower them halfway down if you want less support. Inhale, straight the front knee. And exhale, bend it. One more. Inhale, straight that front knee. Make sure both your toes are facing front. This is not a warrior two. And exhale, bend the front knee. You can use your blocks. We're going to come up and let go of the blocks. You can walk up that front knee for support. Bring your hands to heart center and just pause here for a moment, building a little bit of strength. Huge breath in, pour it into the belly. Exhale, sink down a little farther. 2 breaths here. Noticing any wiggles and wobbles, softening in. For some of you, you might not be building strength. For me, I'm building strength here. Folding forward, reach your hands towards the block or the floor. Your right hand's going to flatten to the floor, spread your palms or the block. Twist your left hand towards the sky, coming into what we call an easy twist. That's not easy for most of us. Send some breath and love into the left rear glute, left hip, and don't overdo it. If it doesn't feel good, you can bring your hand to your hip. That's a little less stretchy. Reach the hand to the sky, noticing there's always an adaptation, and that with the block, sometimes you can do this even if it's uncomfortable to do it in another way. One more breath here, and we'll lower our hands. Hop that back foot forward, coming into a shorter pyramid pose. And enjoy the release in the back calf and the back leg. Flatten your spine so you're not folded all the way over. It's a flat back. Tuck your left hip back, your right hip forward. If you're on the blocks, come up onto your fists. If you're not, have your hands on your thigh and the back is flat. You'll notice a very different stretch here. You're using a few more of your core muscles gently. If you use the blocks, you'll use less core muscles. You decide. Press the back heel into the earth. Lift up the back toes. Notice these small, subtle movements make big shifts. Lower your toes. Shift the back heel, lift it up, shift your weight into the front foot. Lower your back heel. Back is still flat. Huge breath in. Exhale, bend your elbows and lower your head over that front left leg. And enjoy the different sensations there when you do. Your back foot, you're going to turn your heel towards the back. We're going to come into warrior two. So you'll take your right toes, move them towards the right outer edge of the mat. You can use the left hand on the block if you want to help yourself come up, cartwheel up, bend the front knee and come into warrior two. Change your feet if you need. Find something that works for you today. Inhale, pour that breath down right into your belly, right into your pelvic region. And exhale, sink into that front knee. Huge breaths in. Exhale, bend the front knee a smidge more. Notice your toes and the outer edges of your feet, using everything here to support you well. Close your eyes as you gaze over that front middle finger and connect with peace here. Yoga warriors are intended to be strong yet peaceful. And we can find peace even in an active pose where many of our muscles are engaged. With your eyes closed, if that's okay for you, if it's not, keep them open. Take a huge drink of breath. Exhale, drop your right hand down the right thigh, reach your left arm up, coming into peaceful warrior, not overdoing it, not a lesser expression of the pose, but the pose that works for you in this moment. So I usually love to stretch this as much as possible, but not today. And a reminder that we can do that depending on where our body is, working with the body that you have peacefully. When you do that, you have much more fun and you actually get much more done. You grow more, you heal faster. Breathing into those front rib cages. Coming back to warrior two, dropping your left hand to the block if you have it, and if not, forearm on the thigh, and you'll reach your right arm over gently, coming into an easy side angle pose. Wiggle your fingers. 2 breaths. And lower your right hand to the block, turn towards the front, turn your right foot forward. You're going to be on your tippy toe and hop that back foot all the way forward into a forward fold. Moving your blocks in front of you if they're not, and allowing yourself to release forward. Here, see if you can straighten your legs and allow your head and neck to release. Lifting your toes up, wiggling all 10 of them, noticing that how that shifts, lowering them down, sending the roots down and out towards everyone. And noticing as you do that, this sense of connectedness. Connect here once again with your pelvic region and your sense of peace. Release your head and neck. Engage your belly. As you do, bend your knees slightly and roll up inch by inch by inch by inch. Your head will be the last to rise. Reaching your arms out and up, palms together, slight arch back. Bringing your connected palms to heart center. Taking 2 breaths here. Thumbs connect to the sternum. Huge breaths, pouring them in all the way down through your legs, down into your feet, into the earth. On the inhale, drawing up the sense of peace and connectedness from all across the world, through your legs, into your belly, into your heart space, into your hands, and exhale, let it out once again, pouring it through you. Envisioning that peace coming right up and down. Lowering your hands out and up once again, reaching them wide, gracefully, palms come together, slight arch back, and we'll fold forward, forward fold once again. Use the blocks. You're going to, if you have them, step your left foot back. We're going to come into that supported high lunge on this side. Adjust the blocks where they support you if you have them. And a lot of people think it's better if they're strong enough not to use the blocks. The blocks actually activate different things. So I encourage you to try it if you haven't, and get blocks if you don't have them. They are not very expensive. Perhaps widening your stance a wee bit too, and making sure it's long enough. When you bend your front knee, it's not in front of the right ankle, sorry. Left heel is off the floor. You're on your tippy toe of your back foot. Huge breath in, pour it into the chest, looking forward, heart shines forward. Exhale, sink in. Sending love to that left hip, left glute maybe. Notice if you need to adjust your hips, tacking one back, the other one a wee bit forward. Pour the breath in and enjoy the left hip flexor here. Our hips are often not peaceful. They hold a lot of tension. Pour that peace in with intention. Finding peace here, even as you shake and wobble, maybe straight your front knee and bend it. This is an invitation to consider that movement often allows more peace. Straight the front knee. Walking, moving, noticing you can use your body to help you find peace. It's often found in your body when you reconnect to it. Get out of your head. Straight your front knee into that long triangle or long pyramid, and bend your front knee. If it's going to work for you, slide up your right thigh, coming into a high lunge. You can keep your hands at your waist if you need to. Bring your hands to heart center. Or for some of you, may wish to raise your hands up. Notice what feels better for you. It isn't actually that one is harder than the other. It just feels different. Different accesses, different part of the hip flexor. So notice what you enjoy, what feels good. Might be different than what felt good on the other side. You do not have to do the same. Tuck your right hip back, left hip forward. 3 big breaths here. Lower your hands to the blocks. Your left hand is going to come on the left block. Adjust it so it's directly under your shoulder. Flatten your hands, spread your fingers, use them off the edges of the block for using the block, or spread them wide, equal pie shapes if they're on the floor. Coming into an easy twist. Reach towards the right hand. Right hand reaches towards the sky, pardon me. Breathing into it. 2 breaths. If anything begins to shake, wiggle fingers, toes, little micro adjustments, little movements. You can rock on that back toe. Lower your right hand. Hop your back foot forward into a pyramid pose. Short one with lots of support. Back is flat. Crown of the head reaches forward. Enjoy. Lift up all 5 toes on the back foot and lower them down. Shift your weight into the front foot. Lift up the back toes. Lower it down. Use the breath, pouring it wherever it needs to go. I love to envision pouring the breath in like honey. Some days it's lighter, some days it's dancing. Notice what words work for you. How do you get that breath all the way to your toes? All the way into all the little pockets of tightness in the backs of your legs. Inhale deeply and exhale, fold forward over that front leg. Release the head and neck and enjoy. Rather than thinking about the work you're doing, soften in, find peace, relax, and enjoy. Even in this stretchy position, you can find it. If you draw your attention to it and set an intention for it. Coming back to that mantra, peace begins with me. Turn your left heel, towards the right. Your left toes will go to the left. You'll probably need to walk your back foot back a wee bit. Bend the front foot, and you'll come up into warrior 2 on this side. You can use your blocks if you want. Cartwheel your arms open, bend your right front knee. Gaze over the right middle finger and close your eyes. Inviting a peaceful standing warrior two. You may notice with your eyes closed, you engage different pockets of your rear end and your legs. Things might shake that didn't otherwise. You can open your eyes, find your steadiness, and close them once again. Sinking into that front knee, engage your belly. Your spine is long and tall. Huge inhale. And exhale, sink in a wee bit more, finding peace here. Use the breath, pour it down into your pelvic region. Wiggle your fingers. On the next big inhale, bigger than usual, flip the right palm over towards the sky. Drop your left hand down the left thigh. Come into peaceful warrior. A warrior that's actually peaceful for you today. Don't overdo it. Pointing your fingers lightly towards the crease between the ceiling and the back wall if you're inside. Cartwheeling your arms back forward. You'll use the block for the side angle if you have one. Right hand on the block. Reach your left arm over your left ear. Easy side angle. And I see easy not to minimize it, but just not to overdo it, not to push it. It's actually fascinating when you don't push it. You can actually grow more strength, more peace, and even more sort of productivity, if you may. Lowering your left hand to the blocks, turn your left toes towards the front and hop them forward, coming into a forward fold. Wiggle your feet wide, wide, wide this time. Bend your knees and release forward. Release, release, release. Huge in-breath, pouring it in here. Knees bent, sink your rear end down. Different release. Straighten your knees, reach your hips towards the sky. Supporting yourself with the blocks. Your elbows can be on the blocks, your hands can be on the blocks if you have them. Otherwise, hands to elbows, opposite elbow. And you'll bring your blocks together if you have them. You're going to widen your feet. We always say heel toe your feet into a wide angle pose. Sides of the feet will be parallel to the mat, and you'll use your blocks. Coming down onto your blocks, you can put your head on it. The blocks, if you wish, you can put your head on your hands if you wish. Coming into a little inversion here. Back is flat. You can also do it without blocks. Please keep your back flat today. Just allowing a little bit of a different stretch. And we'll heel toe our feet back together. And bending your knees, come down to your knees, sitting back on your heels. And you'll sit up nice and tall, allowing a little bit of a release in the front of the thighs. You can widen your heels a little bit. Coming into a hero's pose, some of you will pop a block under your rear end here. So your heels can come out and you'll just sit nice and tall. Notice your root, your pelvis sitting up tall, tall, tall. And exhale, release. 2 breaths here. Strong, peaceful, easy. You can bring a hand to heart or hands together at heart center with the thumbs pressing into the sternum. Do whichever feels good to you. And if this doesn't feel good to your knees, sit up taller. Build a taller stack. Lifting up off your hips, coming to stand on your knees. Tilt your pelvis, heart shines forward, crown of the head reaches forward. Huge breath in and out. Opening your eyes, and we'll bring our hands to the floor, sweep your feet around, and come to lie on the earth. You can have your knees bent, allowing yourself to arrive. Notice your palms on the floor, soles of the feet on the floor, crown of the head on the floor. Notice your heart beating, maybe fast, maybe slow. letting it begin to slow down. Hug your knees into your chest and have a little rock on your sacrum, rocking all the way over to the very edge of those little muscles that never get any attention, your love handles. Massage your love handles all the way one side and then the other while hugging your knees until you almost tip. Coming back to center. Give your knees a hug with your forehead, squeezing tight, 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 and exhale. Lower your feet to the floor, palms to the floor. Inhale, press into your hands and your feet. Lift your hips up, coming into an easy bridge here, not overdoing it. Lifting your hips up, engaging your glutes. A little bit of a different stretch in the spine. Big drink of breath in. And exhale, lower your hips towards the floor. Untuck your shoulders. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees apart. Coming into Supta Baddha Konasana or reclining butterfly. Left hand to heart, right hand to belly. Adjust your elbows so you are very comfortable. Coming into this restorative pose. Call it conscious rest. Rest being one of the most productive things you can do. Restoring your sense of peace here. What would that look like for you? Can you let go of the thoughts that are keeping you from peace? Perhaps it's unpredictability. Perhaps it's wishing things were different, thinking they should be some other way. And when you let go of that, you can find peace in today. Peace in the way that your life is for today. Not meaning it will stay that way, but from this place of peace and satisfied and content and calm, that's where the curiosity and the change can come. Peace begins with you. Notice your hand on your heart and your belly, connecting with the peace within. Connecting with the peacefulness of that heart, beating beat after beat after beat after beat. Your belly rising with each inhale and falling with each exhale, peacefully. You can stay here for Shavasana, or if you would like, bring your hands to your outer thighs, draw your knees together and extend your legs long. Allow your toes to fall to the outer edges of the mat. And if you're choosing that, you can keep a hand to heart, hand to belly, if that feels good. Or bring your hands to your sides about 6 inches from your waist, palms open to the sky. Allowing yourself to sink in. Large, long, even, delicious breath in. And as you breathe out, soften, surrender, let go. Allow yourself to fall into peace. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Coming back into your body and enjoying the peace. Taking in a delicious inhale and stretching your arms long above and toes long in front, if that feels good. Exhale, release. Sinking back into peacefulness. Draw your knees into your chest and roll over to one side. Pause there. And enjoy. Noticing once again peace, calm, ease. Notice the absence of resistance, the absence of frustration. Enjoying that calm, enjoying that sense of peace. And when you're ready, press up into a comfortable seat where we began, sinking right back into Shavasana. Seated. Find your sit bones, your ischial spines, sending your roots downward, sending those roots out like the famous redwood trees to one another, finding our connectedness and peace in connectedness. Bring a hand to heart and another hand to top, connecting hand on heart, connecting with the peace in those sensations, with the pressure to the heart space. Take an inhale and send it to meet the back of your hands through the heart space. Exhale, let it out. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. May you all have a week of peace. May peace begin with you. Namaste.